I have written 2 books, and my 3rd book is currently cooling off for a bit so that I can hopefully revisit it sometime and start the next draft. But until then, I don't want to stop writing, so instead I'm going to spend 1 week to flesh out my next big project. And in this 1 week, I'm going to flesh out my story, get to know my character so that I know exactly what will happen. And that hopefully, after this 1 week, I can start writing again. Yeah, I'm so excited! Let's get started!
Take a sip of your coke, tell me to pause. I ain't come by the pros, I came to talk. Snow mimosas, cheese, cracks, and parks. Dig it to the hit and the bottom, the blue cars. You been sniffing mirrors and toilets all over town. I made excuses for you too many times.
And that is day 1 of planning my next book finished. I already had an idea for another story, and I knew that it was gonna be big, but today I learned that it's gonna be really big. And all I did was write down what I already knew about the characters, and as I was writing down, I kind of learned new things and also wrote those down, and it was kind of like a loop at that point. Nasty glasses. So the story consists of 3 main characters, and that's honestly all I did today. All I really did was write down every single thing that I thought was going to be relevant to this story. For 2 of the main characters, that meant their history and what their life looked like between the 1st chapter and the 2nd chapter, which takes place 21 years apart from each other. And for the 3rd character, I wrote down every single motivation this person could have. There are way more characters, but that is all I did for now, and I'm very, very excited about this. I honestly just want to start writing, but okay, next day. Good morning. It is day 2 of trying to figure out what my next story is about. I just took a shower. Today I'm going to continue learning about my characters and who they are as people, as well as trying to figure out what exactly their story arcs are going to look like. But before I do that, I gotta head to the city and I gotta return this guy and trade it in for a new one, because I don't want a vinyl that's bamboozled me. Let's go to the city. And I'm back! I actually went away and came back, but now with a new vinyl. It cost me extra money and it was a disaster. That's okay. I'm gonna be playing this, and meanwhile I'm going to be working at my computer and get started on some characters. Okay, so I just finished that session, as you just saw, and I am so excited. You have no idea. You saw my hands. I was excited. Basically, I've had ideas for this story for so long, and finally putting them on paper is so exciting. You have no idea. Or maybe you do. Basically, I've been struggling with trying to figure out the story arc for the main character, but the second main character, that's not exactly the main character, but you know what I mean. His story arc I figured out almost immediately, and I'm so excited because I fleshed it out. I know exactly what his story is going to look like. The main character, I'm still struggling a little bit, but I know more about him now. I've known his goal from the very start, so that's awesome. I know exactly what I want him to do, but I don't know yet how to get him there. And I don't know yet how his motivations are going to give him this arc like I'm doing with the other character. And there needs to be some kind of growth, otherwise it makes no sense. That is something I still have to figure out. I do unfortunately have to do other stuff. I'm gonna do that and I'll get back to this tomorrow. Hopefully figure out that story arc then tomorrow. It is day 3 and I am tired. Last night I had a sudden burst of information going through my head because I came up with a bunch of ways to make my main character's arc work, and it was very good. So that was great. My main character has a story arc, still gotta flash it out, but overall I'm very happy with how that turned out. However, today I don't have that much time to work on this, and the 2 days after that, which is the weekend, I have 0 time whatsoever, so I'll be continuing that on Monday. But first, I'm going to flesh out a tiny bit of some of the side characters so that I know who I'm working with. I'm gonna do that, and I'll see you all Monday, which is just now for you. I hope that works. I like to go on runs when I'm writing because it helps me think of ideas in different ways, or just take a break from the story and the characters and all that. And afterwards, I try to approach things more carefully and more relaxed. While I didn't record every single day of this so-called challenge, I feel like I did a great job figuring out where the story is going to go. As I said, several days have passed, and well, I made some great progress. I have figured out most of the characters. I have figured out basically what I want each character to do in the story. But while I'm preparing this story and getting ready to actually write it, I am reading On Writing by Stephen King on my phone, and it is very, very interesting, very impressive. I'm loving it, genuinely, like McDonald's loving it. But what I'm loving about reading this book is that I'm actually learning a lot about not just the writing process, but also about his ideas on certain things. As I was working on the outline, around that same time, I learned something that I think is very much relevant to me as well. Basically, he talks about plotting and why he doesn't really do it. Not as often, at least. I'm realizing that I don't do that either. I have some idea. I have an idea of who I want my characters to be, sort of, and I have an idea of the situation they're in. Sometimes how I want them to get out or where I want things to end. Maybe not even, maybe a certain scene that I just think of. And then I'm like, just figure it out. And that's what I do. I figure it out as I'm writing. And that is possibly my favorite part of writing. Going with something and being like, huh, okay, did not expect that. Like with Not My Dream Diary, October 2nd. It releases October 2nd. I'm so excited. I had an idea of where I wanted the story to go, but I never actually knew how. I never figured out what I wanted the characters to do exactly to get to that point. I was writing something earlier on in the story and I realized, huh, this is fun, this is great. It had nothing to do with the story, but it was a nice tangent in a way. And near the end of the story, I was like, that tangent is everything I need. It was perfect, and I think that that is what saves stories in a way. What can make stories good and interesting. And that is exactly what I learned from Stephen King. That is okay to do, that is a good thing to do. So when I was writing out an outline for this story, I was going into so much detail that I was like, I don't even know these things yet. I'm still struggling with these characters. I still don't know them. But now I'm thinking, I know their situation, I know their motivation, and for some of them, I know their story arc. Funnily enough, still not for the main character, not exactly. I know some beats of the story. I don't need to know everything to a T. I just need to figure it out as I'm going. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe. Remember, Not My Dream Diary, October 2nd. And let me know what other videos you want to see. Alright, bye!